Welcome to another video. In today's video, I will be doing the mid-year book tag. I don't have much to say because as you can see, I have not been reading much this year. So this year, so far, I have read a total of 8 physical books, 3 ebooks, 22 audiobooks, and 6 graphic novels for a total of 39 books, which, you know, as book content creators go, I don't read a ton because I do have a full-time job, but last year I read 118 books and the year before I read 102 books. So the fact that I've only read 39 books so far and it is June is a low number, but that's just how life has been. So I'm gonna go through the questions and I will probably have some repeat answers for some of them. And the questions I'm using are the ones from the video I did last year. I don't remember where I got the questions from last year, so credit where credit is due. But yeah, I'm just gonna get started. So the first question is best book you've read in 2025. So I know what my physical book answer is, but I'm gonna look to see if I have any other answers for the non-physical books I read. All right, so I have 2 answers for this question. The best physical book I read in 2025 is Sunrise on the Reaping. This is the newest book in the Hunger Games series. This is another prequel. This is set during the 50th Hunger Games, which is the Hunger Games that Haymitch wins, their mentor in the original Hunger Games trilogy. So you think you know what's gonna happen going into this book, but you don't, because there's so much that was covered up that you truly do not know what's gonna happen. And it is truly so emotional if you are attached to those characters, as I am, because you see so many characters from the original trilogy in this book. You also see Snow, and it's an interesting midway point for Snow from where you see him in the Battle of Songbirds and Snakes, the prequel, and then the original trilogy, seeing him in the middle. That's interesting. And yeah, this is a very good book. I think this is my only 5-star read of the year. I absolutely loved it. As soon as I finished it, I wanted to reread it. I've been holding off, but I really want to reread it. And then the other book I would say is the best book I've read so far this year is The Third Gilmore Girl by why am I blanking on her name? Kelly Bishop. Oh my gosh. The Third Gilmore Girl by Kelly Bishop. It is her memoir. Kelly Bishop played Emily Gilmore on Gilmore Girls, which is one of my absolutely favorite shows. And it was so interesting hearing her talk about her life. I find memoirs very interesting. This is only the second I've read, but I think I really enjoy them. I only know her in Gilmore Girls. I have never watched anything else she's been in, and I knew nothing about her life besides the fact that she was Emily Gilmore. So it was really, really interesting, hearing her talk about her life and just everything she's been through. And yeah, I definitely cried at points. I really enjoyed it, and I found her very funny. I really enjoyed listening to her tell her story because she also, I read this as an audiobook, and she narrates her audiobook. And I think she's very funny, and I would love to meet her in person. She seems so cool. Yeah, I need to read more memoirs. Okay, so the next question, how many books have you read this year? Which I already answered, 39. The best sequel you've read so far this year. I don't know if this counts as the best sequel since it's technically a prequel, but it came out after. So I would say this, if it counts. If you don't want to count that, maybe Fearless by Lauren Roberts. This is the 3rd book in the Powerless trilogy, and I don't think any of the books in that series are going to top the first one. The trilogy's completed, but there's going to be more novellas. The first Powerless book is so good. I reread it in anticipation of this coming out. It's so good. This one was better than the second one, but not as good as the first. Powerless is a fantasy trilogy about this world where people have abilities and they're called elites, and if you don't have a power, you're powerless. I forgot what they're called when ordinary. They're called ordinary. So this series follows Peyton, who is an ordinary pretending to be an elite, and she has to compete in these trials, and there's storyline with the princes, and it's this. It is overall a really good series, and I do really enjoy it. So I did enjoy this sequel. Wasn't the best. I gave it 4 stars, but I did enjoy it, and I really love this world, and I love Peyton. Another book I read, I have the physical copy, but I read it as an ebook, and actually, did I put that on my list as books I've read this year? No, I didn't. I've actually read 40 books this year because I never put another book that I finished on here, which is the next book I was going to talk about. This year, I read both of the Mistborn sequels. So the first Mistborn book is called The Final Empire. The second one is called The Well of Ascension. The third one is called Hero of Ages. So I read Well of Ascension and Hero of Ages this year. And again, I don't think they're as good as the first book, The Final Empire, but overall the series is very good. And I did enjoy both sequels. I enjoyed the third one more, I think. The second one was just kind of like slow, and it had plot lines that I didn't really like. And the ending had me shook. So I would also say those sequels I enjoyed reading as well. New release you haven't read yet but want to. I have a couple on here. I guess we're talking about new releases that came out this year. And so one of those would be Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I've read His and Hers, Rock, Paper, Scissors, Daisy Darker, and Good Bad Girl. So I still have 2 left to read of her backlog, which is Sometimes I Lie and I Know Who You Are. Both of them are on my book cart. They're books I wanted to get to this year, but yeah. Her new release of this year was Beautiful Ugly. And I didn't get it right when it came out. It came out in January. I got it like a couple months after, but I haven't gotten around to picking it up. This man's wife dies and then travels to this remote island to try to get his life back. And then there's someone who looks just like his wife. Like, I don't really care the plot of her books. I really enjoy her writing and her plot twist. So I'm going to read them regardless. So this is one I definitely want to get to soon. And then I think some other authors that I like have released new books I haven't read yet. I've been trying to cut back on book buying, so I haven't been buying new books as they come out, so like I haven't been reading very many new releases. Oh, another one. Oh yeah, this book also came out this year. I couldn't remember when this one came out. Another one is Deep In by Ellie Hazelwood. I have read all of her books except for Not in Love. I'm behind on that one, but I've read all of her other books and I've really enjoyed them. I think she writes good romances that I find interesting. I wasn't the biggest fan of Bride, her dip into paranormal romance. I definitely like her STEM romances the best. This one is a swim team romance set in college. So I am excited to see what this is like because I like her romance writing, and I'll probably read everything she writes, just not right away. And I did get the special edition with sprayed edges, not on purpose. I'm not like the biggest fan of sprayed edges, but like it was there and I had a gift card for Barnes & Noble. And then another new release that I want to read that I haven't read yet is Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. It is the 3rd book in the When in Rome series. And I wasn't the biggest fan of When in Rome, but I absolutely loved the second one. Why can't I remember the name of anything today? Practice Makes Perfect. I gave that 5 stars. I loved that one so much. So I'm excited to see about the 3rd book because a lot of people either loved When in Rome and didn't like Practice Makes Perfect, or loved Practice Makes Perfect and didn't like When in Rome. And then a lot of people are saying that the 3rd one is the best book. So I'm really excited to see it. It just follows like another one of the sisters because that series follows different siblings in a small town. And this one's about 2 elementary school teachers, I think. So I do want to read that one. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I actually don't know what's coming out this year because I've been avoiding looking at new releases because I'm not really buying books. I have pretty much only bought books this year when I had gift cards, and I had like a gift card from Christmas and then from like my birthday, and then I got a new job this year. My old coworker gave me a gift card as like a farewell, and so every time I get a gift card I'm like, let me go buy a book. So yeah, I haven't really been paying attention to new releases, so I literally have no idea what books are coming out this year. I don't think I have an answer for you for that one. I think Holly Jackson has another book coming out this year. I will be reading that because I've read all of her books so far and I really enjoy them. I think she's really good at towing that line of like her books are YA thrillers, but like she toes that line of what's just twisted enough to still make it YA. And she does such a fantastic job in her writing. Like some of the stuff she writes is so twisted. It's so good. So if she has a new book coming out this year, I will definitely be reading that because I love Holly Jackson's writing. The next question is biggest surprise. I think I have 2 answers for this one. The first physical book I read this year was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I know this was a popular book a couple years ago. Honestly, from then until now, it's been popular, but I've never read it. I tend to like steer away from like regular fiction because I think it's like not going to be interesting, but like that's false. It is interesting. So this book is about 2 people that are friends when they're kids and they reconnect in college, and they make a video game together and it ends up being popular, and then they continue creating video games together, and this book spans across like half of their lives. Like there's flashbacks to when they're kids, there's when they're in college, and then there's like 30s or 40s. Like it spans across a lot of their lives and like how their lives are interconnected and their work they do together. And I actually really, really enjoyed this book. It was a surprise. Like I just didn't, like, I don't know. I know it's a popular book, but I was just like, I just don't think it's for me. But I actually really, really enjoyed it. So I need to stop avoiding fiction because it can be good. Yeah. That's probably my only answer for that question. Favorite author, debut, or new to you? I haven't really read any new authors this year that I would say are a new favorite. I've kind of just been reading books by authors I've already read before and liked. I think Tomorrow is the only like new author I've read this year, and I liked it, but I wouldn't say it's a new favorite author. Yeah, I don't think I have an answer for that one either. Newest fictional crush? Probably, I don't even know if I would call it that. I think of the like romance books I read this year, which I haven't read that many. Honestly, I wouldn't say I have any new fictional crushes. I don't really necessarily feel like I get fictional crushes, but there are like fictional men that I'm like, this is like the peak of man. I haven't necessarily loved any that I've read. I did just finish Wild Reverence, which is Rebecca Ross's new release that comes out later this year. It's set in the same world as Divine Rivals, which is a duology I really, really love. In fact, last year when I answered this question, I think my answer was Roman Kit from that series because he is like perfect. And the reason I think he's so perfect is because he reminds me of Peeta Mellark from The Hunger Games. So those are my two answers last year. Anyway, Wild Reverence set in the same world as Divine Rival. It's about a goddess and a mortal and just like how their lives interconnect. And I really don't know how to describe what it's about. I did really enjoy it. It was definitely like a slow burn. Like if you read Divine Rivals, it's a different kind of fantasy. It's definitely like slower, but it's not bad. I wouldn't necessarily call it cozy because there's like war in it, but it's just kind of hard to describe. I didn't like the male main character Vincent in this book as much as I like Roman, but I did like him. And certain lines he said that are like a bit tropey just like hit in a way I loved it. And I won't give spoilers away for what those lines were, but I was like, oh, every time he said them. I really liked the way he treated Matilda in the book. So like, I guess that's the closest I can say. And of course I have reread The Hunger Games this year. So Peeta Mellark, as always, I love that man. He can do no wrong. He is still on that list. But it's not new. That's just, I reread it. But I'm going to talk about it because I love Peeta. Book that made you cry. Do I need to say more? Do you know Haymitch's story? You think you know it. It is actually so much sadder than you think, okay? If you want to cry. I will say I did tear up some reading Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This is her new release of this year. Of the Emily Henry books I've read, I do think this is my least favorite. This is about two authors that are competing for the chance to write the story of this socialite woman and who's like old, and she's like in her 80s and she's like ready to tell her story. And so these two authors are staying on this remote island, like interviewing her, and like they're going to pitch their idea for the book to her, and she's going to pick which one of them gets to write it. And so there's a romance between the authors, of course. And so the like point of views, it's like, girl, don't Alice, and like talking with Margaret and also falling in love with Hayden. But then it also, you get to read about Margaret's timeline, like her past, but like it starts all the way with like her great grandparents. And then she talks about like her family history to get to her. And I didn't find that interesting. Once I got to Margaret's actual plotline, I enjoyed that. But like I don't know, this wasn't my favorite book. However, there was definitely some emotional scenes in this book, like near the end. Something Emily Henry does really well is that the like characters are well-rounded and they go through a lot. So the main character, Alice, is, you know, finding her footing in her job because she's actually like a reporter writer, but she's like wants to write a book, and she has like this relationship with her mom that's not the best, and she like her dad passed away, and honestly I would say she's still kind of grieving not having her dad even though time has passed. And she's like the relationship with Hayden, and then there's a lot going on in her life, and so trying to resolve all those pieces was like it did get to me, and I did tear up. Not fully crying though. The most beautiful book you bought this year or received? Oh, special editions. Hold on. Okay, so I got the Hunger Games editions that came out this year. I got the box set. These are so pretty. Oh my god, okay. So, I haven't taken them out of the box yet. I've looked at them in the store. So we have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the prequel. The Hunger Games. Catching Fire. Mockingjay. And they also all have quotes on the back that I really love. I don't think they're like spoilers. So for this one, it's ambition will fuel him, competition will drive him, but power has its price. For the Hunger Games, winning means fame and fortune, losing means certain death. So these aren't like quotes, they're like kind of summarizing the plot. Katniss Everdeen survived the Hunger Games, now the Capitol wants revenge. I guess that's a little bit of a spoiler, but I think everyone knows that. Mockingjay is if we burn, you burn with us. That's a quote! Oh my god, whenever that quote comes in the book, I know that entire monologue, okay? I could say it word for word with her. Anyway, so I got these and I really love them because they're so pretty. Yeah, I just leave them. I'm working on a book display right now, so I just still have them in the box. So I'm going to put them back in the box. Oh my god, look at the pages together. Okay, they're back in the box. Of course, I got a copy of Onyx Storm when it came out with the sprayed edges. So that's cool. I don't have a hardcover of Fourth Wing with sprayed edges, so I'm trying to get the rest of the series with sprayed edges. I do have the Fourth Wing paperback with sprayed edges, but yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then for my birthday, one of my friends gave me this book. I don't remember what it's about, and I obviously haven't read it, but it's so pretty, and then it does have sprayed edges too. I think it's like a cozy fantasy, so like I do like it. It's very pretty. But I think that's it for pretty covers that I've gotten this year. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? So many. Literally so many. I have my book card here. Oh, all my magnets are turned sideways. I don't know if I've read a single book off this book card this year. No, I read a couple off the bottom. And we're talking about like goals, like books I do want to read by the end of the year. Everything, but specifics. I want to read Beautiful Ugly, the Alice Feeney book, Deep, and Allie Hazelwood. I also want to read the other Allie Hazelwood I'm behind on, which is Not in Love. I wanted to get to Emily Henry's backlog, which is People We Meet on Vacation and Book Lovers. I want to read more books. The Throne of Glass series. I've only read Throne of Glass and the prequel, Assassin's Blade. And yeah, I think those are the main ones I want to read by the end of the year. But like I want to read this whole cart, but that's really not happening now, is it? How many 5-star reads this year? I think only one. I think it was only Sunrise on the Reaping. Nothing else. I've given 5 stars. I don't even think I've given 4.5. Like I just haven't been hitting on much this year. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all my ratings this year have been 4 stars or less, except for Sunrise on the Reaping was 5 stars. So once again, Sunrise on the Reaping, taking the cake. What books do you want to reread this year? Well, The Hunger Games, of course. I've already reread the 4 books once. I want to reread the main trilogy at least one more time this year, and then I probably won't read the prequels again this year, but I will next year. Hopefully the paperback for Sunrise on the Reaping comes out next year, so I will get that and reread it and annotate it. Also, hopefully the paperback comes out before the movie. I'm pretty sure it would. I am planning on rereading Magnolia Parks, the first one, this month actually, because Sarah Crowley, my absolute favorite YouTuber, I'm in her Patreon book club, and for the month of June, which is her birthday month, we are rereading like her favorite book. Like we voted of her favorite books, and Magnolia Parks won. And I read that series because of her. I've read 3 of them so far, and on my cart is the next one for me to read, which is Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, which I want to read. I just haven't been reading this year. Life has been hard. But I am about to start rereading Magnolia Parks for Sarah's birthday, and I'm very excited to reread it because I didn't love it. Like I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my absolute favorite. Like if you don't know Magnolia Parks, that world is kind of like Gossip Girl, but it's set in London and the characters are like college age. It's just like these rich socialites and like the absolute toxic drama in their lives. So Magnolia Parks follows Magnolia Parks, and BJ is her love interest, and they're like not dating, but they're like so hung up on each other and like so much drama. It's so toxic. These are romance books, but they're so toxic. Like do not go into these books thinking it's romance, because it's just it's so toxic, but it's so like captivating. So I read the first one and I was like interested enough to continue, especially like how people talk about the rest of the series. So I read the next book you read, which is Daisy Hates, and that follows Daisy Hates, who is like in Magnolia Parks, but like a minor character. So it follows Daisy and her brother Julian, and then Daisy's love interest Christian, which Christian is friends with BJ. So like they're connected. They're in the same world. I really enjoyed Daisy Hates. But then when I read Magnolia Parks like 2, The Long Way Home, I really, really love that. So I'm very interested to see what I think about the second Daisy Hates, which is The Great Undoing. I just haven't picked it up because they're kind of chunky books. I think Daisy Hates, The Great Undoing is probably the smallest book of all of them, which it's not super thick, but this is like a tall book. But I think this is the shortest. Yeah, this one's only 366 pages. I should totally read this. That's not bad. But like there is like a lot of text on each page. It is a very tall book with a lot of text. You know what? I go back. I take it. I want to read this book this year. I'm adding that to the list. And I probably will read it as soon as I'm done rereading Magnolia Parks. What was the question? Books you want to read this year? Oh, books you want to reread this year. Yeah. A book you enjoyed with mixed reviews. I think I have 2 answers for this one. Both were audiobooks I listened to. I read Mile High, which is in the Windy City series. It is a series of romance books that are like sports romances. They follow, I don't know if they're each a different sports. I've only read 2 of them so far. There are 5. The first one's called Mile High, which follows a hockey player, I think. And the second one's The Right Move, which follows a basketball player. So Mile High is everyone's least favorite book in the series. Like there are people who DNF'd Mile High or gave it 1 star, but then continued the series and have given other books 5 stars. Like that book is so polarizing. So many people hate Mile High. And like, trust me, I see it. I definitely see the problems. When I first started the book, I kind of hated Miles. I think his name's Miles. I don't think his name's Miles. His name's not Miles at all. I'm just getting that because of the name of the book is Mile High. He has like some weird nickname. Xanders. His name's just Xanders. So when I first started reading the book, I really, really hated Xanders because his whole thing is he has a certain image to the public. And it like makes him like popular. So he's like everyone's like favorite star. And it's like he has this like bad boy, like uses women image. And then like his best friend is like the family man. Like he has a wife and kids. So it's like he has that image, but he treats people like that all the time. So he treated the main girl like that, who was working as a flight attendant on their like private flights for traveling games. And I hated it. Like I really, really did not like it. But I also knew, like, I knew he wasn't really like that. Like, you know, when you start a romance book, if, like, that's the main guy, like, he isn't actually like that. They wouldn't have him as the main character of a romance book. Yeah, a lot of people hate that book. I kind of liked it. I liked that the way he cared for her and the way he could just, like, he knew her and, like, figured things out about her. And I liked that. I didn't love everything he did. I didn't love everything about the book, but I liked the main woman a lot, and I liked his love for her. I liked the second book a lot more, and I know later books are even better than the second book, so I'm very excited to continue the series. But yeah, that first book, Mile High, a lot of people don't like it. The other book I have for this answer is Jackpot Summer. I don't remember what people said that they didn't like about this book, but I just remember people saying they didn't like this book or it was just like mid, but I honestly really enjoyed it. And I think it's because I went in not expecting anything. Like, I listened to it as an audiobook and I was like, whatever, this is a fun summer book. It's like April, I'll just listen to this. And I actually really enjoyed it. The plot of this one is this family goes in together to get a lottery ticket and they win like a lot of money, like millions apiece. And so it's kind of just like winning that money and like how it changes their lives because they're all like going through something and then they're like, oh, this money will fix it. And it's like, money doesn't fix everything. Like, money can fix sometimes, trust me, I'm aware, but it can't fix everything. Like, you do have to do stuff yourself, you know, like you have to work on yourself mentally and like emotionally, and that's what these characters needed. Like, money couldn't fix it all. They had to look inside themselves. And I just really liked the concept of this book, like seeing what money did to them and then how they realized what they actually needed. I just really liked it, and it was very funny. I really want more books like this, actually, because this was like a fiction book that was like it was lighthearted in the way that like a lot of rom-coms I like are, but then it did have like serious heartfelt moments. So like it kind of reminded me of like Emily Henry's balance of like comedy versus deep heartfelt moments. And there was no romance in this book. Like there were people who were in relationships, and part of the plot, their plot point was their relationship, but it wasn't a romance book. It was a fiction book that followed different members of a family and what they were going through. And I just really liked that concept. Like I liked being in all these points of views, and I liked, some parts were so funny, but then some parts were so heartfelt. Like I think I teared up reading this book, but like not a lot. And yeah, I just really liked how well-rounded this book was. So I don't know, I need to go back and read reviews. I don't remember why people didn't like it. Maybe it just wasn't what they were expecting. I thought it was a romance going into it. I don't know why I thought that, but yeah, I actually really enjoyed this book, and I want more books with that vibe. And I think the last question is 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. I don't know, because I have not had luck with 5 stars, and I haven't been reading much, so I don't know. I think this could, but I don't think it would. I don't think, like from what I've seen people say, this isn't their favorite of hers. But I gave Daisy Darker 4.5 stars, and I gave Rock, Paper, Scissors 5 stars. I thought both of those were very, very good, which is why I think this has the possibility of being good. But then, like, Good Bad Girl was, like, not even a thriller. It was barely a mystery. Like, I don't know what that book was. It wasn't bad. It wasn't what I was expecting. I think I gave that one 4 stars. I think I gave His and Hers 3.5. So, like, do I think this will be a 5-star? No, but it could be a 5-star. That's where I'm sitting with this one. Again, this could be a 5 stars because I really loved her STEM romances, and I think 2 of them I gave 5 stars. 1 of them I listened to, so it's hard for me to rate it 5 stars because I don't really rate audiobooks. So those 3 STEM romances, I would say 5 stars. Her YA like chess book, I think I gave that one 4 stars. I think I gave Bride 4 stars. So like, could this be 5 stars? Yes. Do I think it will be? I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Because there are books that like I thought I was gonna give 5 stars to this year that I didn't. One of those, this is not the question, but anyway, Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. I read Out on a Limb by her and absolutely loved it. I was like so obsessed with that book. Like I loved it so much my boyfriend gave me a copy of it for Christmas because I listened to it. And he bought me this book because he saw it and knew it was the same artist and thought I would like it. And the plot of this one is, don't remember her name, but she gets custody of her little, like her baby sister that was just born. And then he is trying to get custody of his little brother who's like 15. Both of them are like lower 20s. And neither one of them can be granted custody because of, for her, it's financial reasons. She doesn't have much money, but she has a place to live. And he has money, but doesn't have a place to live. So the like Child Protective Services is like, hey, we have this program that matches up people that need a temporary place to live in order to gain custody. So she gets a roommate because she needs to save money to be able to like look financially like able to adopt her little sister. And he needs a place to live in order to, because like for his little brother, he has to live in a 2-bedroom and he lives in a 1-bedroom. So they live together and they're like, this is not, we're not going to be friends. We're just staying here for 6 months and then we're going to go our separate ways. Like, I'm not helping you raise your kid, like whatever. And she's like, okay, fine. That's the deal. You know more than that's going to happen. And I don't know. It's like, I liked part of it and then part of it I didn't like. And this book ended and I was like, what do you mean it's over? Like, it was just like, it was just like, and it was done. It was so short. I feel like their romance was slow and then it just sped up really quickly and then the book was over. And I ended up not liking this book that much. Like I liked parts of it, but like overall, like I just wasn't the biggest fan. And I was very, very shocked because I loved Out on a Limb so much. I was just so shocked that this book wasn't 5 stars because I really thought it would be. So now I'm curious about her other books because this one has a sequel and she has some other books. I don't know. Anyway, oh, we're talking about 5-star predictions. I don't know. It's hard to predict because that book. I feel like I'm very scatterbrained. Yeah. Was that the last question? I feel like I'm talking forever. Yeah, that was the last question. So that's been my year so far in books. I haven't read many. I've read 40. And yeah, my health hasn't been super great, so I've been really tired. So that's like a negative thing. A more positive thing is I've been hanging out with my friends a lot more, which makes me very happy and is very good for my mental health. It does mean I'm reading less, but like that's a good reason to read less, is like being social and having fun. I love my friends, so that it's worth reading less to be with them. And I also did get a new job, so I've been reading less because of my new job. Again, positive thing. So yeah, I've cut back on reading a lot this year. I'm hoping I get back into it. It's not that I don't enjoy it, I do enjoy it. I'm just tired or busy. And yeah, so that's why I haven't been reading as much, and that's why I haven't been making as many videos, because I haven't been reading much to make videos. And I also just haven't really had the energy to devote to coming up with ideas or filming. Yeah, I do have a video that I'm hopefully doing soon. I haven't started it yet, so it'll be another month or so before you see it. But yeah, I'm excited about that one. But other than that, I don't really have any concrete ideas right now because I'm just not really reading much. Like a reading vlog would take me months because I am genuinely, sometimes it takes me a whole month to read a book. It took me a month to read Wild Reverence. Not because I hated it. I think I'm sitting at 4 stars for that. I just finished it 2 nights ago, so I haven't fully decided on a rating for that one. Okay, that's the video. That is what I've read so far this year. I've explained why I haven't been reading or posting videos. So thank you for watching this one. You can go back and watch some of my other videos if you want. I also have a couple of crafting videos if you want to watch those. Please stick around for more because I promise I will put more out there sometime. And I'm very excited about that one I have coming up. So yeah, thanks. Bye. Not me forgetting how to turn my camera off because it's been so long. Oy.